have the sun sextile Chiron here. So again, sextiles are 60-degree angles, which are a positive energy flow. As always, I try to help you guys learn about these things, so you guys can slowly apply it to your life and how you are navigating astrology for yourself. So the sun is at 26 degrees of Gemini here, and Chiron is at 26 degrees of Aries. This is actually, I feel like, going to be really, really nice. This transit, it's going to be happening pretty early in the morning. As always, with all transits, they kind of have like a peak and then like building up a climax, and then, you know, it flows down. So similar to the moon cycles, just keep that in mind as I talk about these things. So you'll be feeling this come up early morning on the 17th, and then it's going to ebb throughout the rest of the day when it, you know, the sun starts shifting a couple degrees after that. So the sun moves about a degree a day, by the way. Chiron's the wounded healer. Chiron in Aries has been really having us hone in on our identity and like our wounds within, like, who am I? And so this sextile to the sun in Gemini really allows there to kind of be mental clarity around the way you may want to reframe old wounds. So it's more connected to the mind space here, because the sun is in Gemini, which has to do with the mental realm. And again, Chiron being the wounded healer, it's giving us the opportunity to look at these tender points that probably have surfaced this weekend, depending on how this Uranus square Mars has been affecting you. And if it's not been affecting you personally, it's been affecting the world and loved ones who might have other things. So just like witnessing, but also recognize that this day, June 17th, really looking into a way to see your wounds differently, you know? Yeah, there's kind of this thought process here that's like, if I could speak freely, right, without the fear of rejection, what would I say? You know? And you could even say, like, Chiron in Aries really brings in this note of like inner child healing. So wounds that kind of developed in early childhood, where you are starting to frame the identity. So this is present here. Also, conversations with people could flow a lot better here, where you're creating some more supportive energy for healing, you know, healing that identity wound. And then, yeah, so this is a great transit. I think it's going to be really supportive of like integrating and really looking at those tender parts that Chiron's coming up with. Then we have Mars moving into Virgo. Thank fucking God. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so ready. I'm ready for Mars to be at 7 degrees of Virgo. I'm ready. It's the degree of my ascendant. So then it'll be in my first house and I'll be on fucking fire. You guys watch out. Watch out. Mars on my ascendant. I'm coming for you guys. But actually though, I know it's gonna be very supportive in getting my shit together. It's together, kinda. So Mars. Okay, for my mythology people, if you're familiar with mythology, I like to bring in the different archetypes. This is the warrior. This is the god Aries, or in Roman mythology, Mars. So this brings in our passion, our drive, our will to get things done, and it moving from Leo, which has been all about like being seen at a certain level, or letting your sort of actions speak for themselves. It creates this sort of like inner fire that's being observed by the community, the groups that you're in. Mars moving into Virgo is all about like, I love the visuals I get when I start talking about astrology, but I really see like, it's like going back to the office. It's like, let's get shit organized. Let's get things going. Mars, again, putting it in the feminine sign of Virgo. Virgo represents Virgo's the gateway sign. It's a mind, body, spirit alignment. So it's like getting shit in order. So like if things have felt out of alignment in your life, it's almost like needing sort of a push to, you know, start a routine up again, or start focusing on certain aspects of like I was going to say mental health, but also like physical health. This is the time to do that. Oh, my laundry timer. Would you look at that? Let's say set a timer for an hour. I'm going to double check my text. It was probably my mother. Oh, they have a treat. Yes, guys. My mom's got a little treat for me. I'm going to respond, guys. That just, yes. If you guys know me, I love a little treat. Yay. I haven't had dinner yet, though. Okay. So, Mars moving into Virgo, this is literally where it's a race against the dryer. Yeah. Well, for me, it's like, no matter what, I have to like swap them. I have like one more load to do, so that'll be fine. So Mars here, right? It's been in Leo. So again, there's this sort of fiery action that came with like Mars and Leo. And this is kind of like the integration of like, can you take that and make it like, can you bring that into the everyday life? Like some of those really peak moments that happened with Mars being in Leo. This, you know, shifts from passion of Leo to precision, which is Virgo. So Virgo is all about precision. So this is literally an ideal time to like take that like kind of primal energy that comes with Mars and Leo and really like bring it into your systems, plans, rituals of devotion, like devoting, man, the word discipline's coming up big time. Discipline. Like Mars and Virgo has a certain level of discipline to it, of really creating routine structures for themselves to actually meet their desires and to like get what they want done. And Mars wants to always get what it wants. So there's a thing, you know, as always, I like to bring in all the aspects of what's happening here. And, you know, we got to watch out for like hypervigilance. So like, oh man, Virgo energy. Hi, Virgo rising here. I can speak really plainly to this. Like hypervigilance is like a big thing with Virgos. So like, is everything working according to plan? Or like, is the perimeter secure? Like literally. The amount of like thoughts that go into my mind when just being in public spaces, like I'm very hyper vigilant. But there's also like watching for like overcorrection or perfectionism or trying to fix things. So like that's the balance with Mars and Virgo. It can be very much like my way or the highway. Like I know how to do all the things, and so it's going to be like, can you still like, especially with Mars, or not Mars, the sun's going to be in Cancer in a little bit, and so that kind of duality that comes with like the sun being in Cancer, really tender and like wanting that balance from that masculine aspect that's like wants everything to be done well. So this is like, Mars can kind of be like it's like building your own temple, building your own sanctuary, like really finding what works for you day to day and committing to that. I really love this energy. So I'm excited for it. It'll be good. Now, let's go ahead and jump to June 18th. Okay. Move you guys over a little bit. All right. So on June 18th, we have Jupiter sextile Neptune in Aries. Jupiter. Wait, what is on this calendar? I was like, wait, this is literally a square. Let me rewrite that on my calendar. I was like, wait, did I put that down wrong? Let's double check. Yeah, I wrote that wrong. That's so funny. I love being humbled by yourself. Okay. Cool. I love humbling myself. Okay, so it is a square. As I can see, I was like, what? These lines don't look happy. They're red. So This is tension, squares, tension. And we've been feeling this, I'll be honest. We've been feeling this building, and we'll be feeling it presently building, this square between Saturn and Neptune to Jupiter in Cancer. Do want to add on my calendar that swoop. Okay. So yeah, I talked a little bit about this on my last stream. If you were there, I was talking about Jupiter squaring Saturn, and I think I already touched into this. As I'm looking at this, I was like, wait, didn't we talk about this already? But I'm still going to bring it to the surface here, because I find it that it's important to make sure that we're aware that this energy is still present. And I talked a lot about it being like, it's essentially like the dream, which is like Neptune, the vision, which is Jupiter, and then the reality, which is Saturn. So it's like this like conversation that is going back and forth. Like Jupiter really wants to expand and like bring in a lot of delicious, sweet, nurturing energy and like expand into that, while Neptune in Aries has the desire to dissolve old identities. All while Saturn is here is like confronting what is the reality, like what is happening and what's actually like sustainable. So it's really a great growth edge. And the way I described it on the previous newsletter, if you're not signed up for that, shameless promo, I lost you guys. Where did chat go? There we go. Shameless self promo, which is here. You can click that link and sign up for my newsletter, which essentially I go over the upcoming transits that I'm talking to you guys about here, but you guys can actually like have them in written format and read through them. So with that being said, this happening here, I spoke to it about it being like an expansion and a contraction, where it's kind of like the process of waves hitting the shore, where it's like it builds, it goes up, and then it withdraws. And that's sort of the expansion that's coming here with this tension point, this square between Saturn, Neptune, and Jupiter. So it's kind of like recognizing old delusions that we're shedding, especially within like the spiritual framework. That's what Neptune really is like, especially since it's moved from Pisces into Aries. It's like shedding that illusion there. There is always a temptation here, especially with, you know, Neptune being in Aries, is like chasing dreams without checking your foundation. That's why Saturn here is like very, very important. But then there's like sort of the equal and opposite effect where, you know, we can kind of halt ourselves out of fear and past grief. So being aware of that. So I find this one to be really, really sweet. So this freaking cough. I really thought using my voice this morning was gonna like clear it up, but I guess we're still here. For those of you who know, you know. Yeah, there's, you know, with this tension, I was gonna say square, but it is tension. This really creates like a friction between like the dreamy, delusional, spirituality, like disorienting effect that Neptune has, especially around like our belief in our identity and direction. That's why Saturn, again, it's like, this is such a great opportunity, because it really is that like Neptune is dissolving old foundations, and Saturn's really trying to come in and like rebuild a foundation. But this square to Jupiter is really creating this. How are you making sure your needs are met in that process? It's almost like, oh, thank you, God, for that visual. It is really recognizing that like you can't just work around the clock on rebuilding yourself. You have to take a break. You have to slow down. You have to nurture yourself. You have to like pause, hit the brakes. And like that's what Jupiter and Cancer is doing, is like, no, we need to like actually like get our needs met and like have a good cry and like move through these things. And Saturn And Aries with Neptune is like, but we're like building like a new foundation for ourselves. And if we stop, we'll lose the momentum, because like Neptune here is like, keeps like taking the ground right out from me. And I got to keep rebuilding, because if I'm not freaking rebuilding, then I'm going to fucking like fall off the cliff. And it's like recognizing that you're actually going to be okay. No brakes. Hit the brakes. Especially if your body starts hurting, or like suddenly like things happen to your body because you need to stop. I've just found that for myself. Like I'll get like physical injuries, or I'll get sick if I'm not stopping. I'm usually all gas, no brakes. So, and even when I'm driving, don't tell my mom. So this one holds a lot of tension, of really recognizing that balance between like pushing and not. Thanks for the follow. Hello. I don't know who you are. I'm good. How are you? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. We're just talking about the astrology for the week. Hi, Kate. Okay, so what else wants to be said here? There's kind of, again, to kind of just reiterate what I said on my newsletter, was just sort of that like expansion and contraction sort of thing. But it's like in the contraction, how are you making sure that like you have fulfilled yourself? How are you making sure that like your needs have been met, you know, of like, and it's not, you know, it could be leaning on like your close connections or the people that make you feel good. I think it's important to recognize that as well. So how are you nurturing yourself? How do you take care of yourself? Is it just slowing down? Is it like, you know, you might need to veg out on the couch for a day. You might need to like go talk to a friend and move through some things. We all process differently. So my Jupiter in Cancer video might be helpful for you if you haven't watched it. It's on my YouTube. I wonder if I have my YouTube command here. Yeah. You can check out my YouTube. I have a whole video on Jupiter in Cancer and where it's affecting you based off your rising sign and what that's all about. So awesome. Let's go ahead and jump to the 20th, which is when our next transit's coming up. So what's happening here is, let's change the time a little bit because this is happening later in the evening. I think it's happening around 8. Let's do 8 p.m. Cool. Okay. Yep. Yay. This is so sweet. And Kate, my weekend was really quite something, that's for sure. I hope you had a good weekend too. Okay, so June 20th is what we're looking at here today. We've got the sun at 0 degrees of Cancer, which means it's summer solstice. That means the sun is at its highest point. It is a time to celebrate. You know, I'm pretty excited about summer solstice. So I always find it very interesting that summer starts with Cancer season, and it's all about like nurturing yourself. This is like, it's the longest day of light if you're in the northern hemisphere. It's winter for those of you who are in the southern hemisphere. This is sort of like a return to like home, your family, emotional memory. Cancer is like the womb of the zodiac. It's really deeply nurturing. I always find it interesting because summer isn't really like that feeling of like nurturing to me. So it's always like, but it's always like been family activities for me whenever like summer rolls around. It's like trips and then 4th of July and then like all the things that are happening, and you're connecting with people, you're out of school, you know, relating it to that like younger kid experience. But as we just tune into the energetic of the sun moving into Cancer, and I will be filming a video on that, don't you guys worry. Cancer's deeply tender. Cancer's very aware of the emotional waters that they reside in. And Cancer is the first water sign. And I bring that up because of the fact that whenever it's the first of an element, it has its own sort of frequency. And the first 4 signs, so Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer, they're all called personal signs, which means their journey here within their experience. So if you have a sun or any placements within like those first 4, it's all about the self identity. And so when we move the sun into the sign of Cancer, it's really shining light on our ego identity around our emotions. This is the first experience as we grow through the zodiacal wheel, going through Aries, which is all about I am, Taurus, I have, Gemini, I think, Cancer is I feel. So this is really tuning into the feelings, what it feels like to feel things. And it's like the first experience of feelings. And so I always think of like little kids having like their first like big emotional breakdown. So gotta crack my back. Cracking. You're tired, boss? No, the sun on your ascendant's gonna be great. You'll be good. You'll be okay. This is gonna be like it's gonna be supportive. We honestly kind of need a moment to feel and like integrate, and really like Cancer gives us the opportunity to like soak for a little bit. I hate that I said the word soak. My Mormon upbringing is destroying me right now. Cool. This is this is great. Welcome back. Thank you. I've been here. Where have you been? Just kidding. Sorry, that was aggressive. I've been here all day working. This is an opportunity. I was gonna say option. Opportunities, options, you can choose to or not. You're totally fine. It's okay. The opportunity to really hone in on like, again, really the sun just illuminates this part of your chart, and it's kind of like this is the space that the ego is sort of going to be leaning into. So depending on where Cancer is within your natal chart, you'll have a more deepening and a more attention on that area of life. And so again, Cancer is all about touching into our feelings. How do I feel? What does it feel like for me to experience grief, to experience love, to experience tenderness, to experience sadness, anger? And it's really the raw expression of that. And I find that it's going to actually be very, very beneficial for us to actually get... Wait, what? How are you? I apologize. I was trying to find the love in hopeless place. Just like, did you find it? Did you find love in the hopeless place? Did you find it? Because I'm looking too. But man, you derailed me. Unfortunately, you haven't. Good luck. You've got this. I believe in you. Yeah, Cancer, sun in Cancer, just whatever area of life it's falling in for you, it's really just like the invitation of nurturing, softness, slowness, and like intergenerational healing, because of the fact that Cancer represents the mother, represents our maternal lineage, and really nurturing that spot. Thank you. Someone has to believe in me. I appreciate it. So it's actually kind of, for me, it feels really, really rewarding. We've had a lot of Gemini energy, a lot of like mental stimuli the last couple months, like with Jupiter having been in Gemini, with the sun and Mercury, we're all in Gemini. We had like this, it almost feels like this just like hardware upgrade within our mind space. And so really the sun and Jupiter, and also Mercury in Cancer, is going to be this sort of deepening into our feelings. And communicating our feelings, but you first have to recognize what the feeling is and like really feel what it feels like in your body and recognize that. Otherwise you might just think you're feeling something, but you're thinking about the feeling instead of feeling the feeling. It's all about feeling the feelings, which I know for some people, they're like, I'd rather not. Too bad. Lean in, embrace it. I'm all about the phrase lean in. Just like when you're uncomfortable, like I think of it in the terms of like fighting with martial arts. Like if you lean back, you're stepping out of the fight. Like lean into the fight. And this isn't really a fight, but it's just, yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's jump ahead to June 22nd, which is Sunday. Here. And no, Alexa, stop. I had to double check that my Alexa was unplugged. I've unplugged her for months. I'm scared now of her. So on the 22nd, Mars is going to be sextile, Jupiter, supportive. Where the frick are you, Mars? Oh, there you go. Okay. Oh, why is the line so big? Okay. Sextile. Ah! Cool. It was scary for me too. It was scary. Y'all, we're speed running these transits. Let's go. Okay. So sextile here, and then we also have the sun. The sun is going to be squaring this energy as well too. Okay, we'll talk about the sextile first. Yeah, she really said hi, Mom. Okay, so sextile, 60-degree angle. We've got the it's so funny as I look at this, I'm just thinking a little bit deeper. This is really supportive, I feel. So this is sort of the, like I spoke to Mars moving into Virgo, this energy, and then I spoke on the sun entering Cancer, and now we have a sextile between the two. So that is a supportive energy of our ego identity within our feelings being grounded into the practicality that Mars and Virgo brings. So it's like actually creating supportive routines and structures to like help your emotions move. So whether that's like going to therapy, scheduling therapy, or like working out. Like again, Mars and Virgo brings in like really practical, like physical things. Maybe it's sitting down with your calendar and like scheduling times to cry. No, I'm just kidding, but kind of. I think about something I do for myself when I'm having a lot of like an emotional release. Like there is a certain threshold where you've kind of been in the feelings too much, and Cancer can have, it kind of likes to stew. It's almost like sometimes Cancer energy can like, I always think of it as like sitting in the bathtub for too long where the water's already kind of like gone cold and you're pruny, but you're still in there. It's like sitting in your feelings like that. Sometimes Cancer can do that where they like stew too long in their emotions. And when I do that, I call that my swamp feminine. That's where I'm like in too deep of my feelings. So I have a certain threshold, like it's a sweet spot for myself that I've found throughout my own practices. And like, at what point do I need to like literally pull myself out of the like well that I dropped myself in, or just circumstances move me through? So like, it's like, okay, feel, process, feel. Okay. And now we're gonna come back out of it. We're gonna ground. We're gonna like write about it. Like what, and it's that process of like knowing. That's kind of what this square feels like to me. Not square, sextile feels like to me. It's kind of like really seeing where you have to like support yourself in your emotional process. So this is really, really supportive. And I realize that it's sextiling Jupiter, not the sun, but this plays into each other as well. So the sun is going to be sextiling Mars as well soon, but they're close in degree that they're kind of operating together. And the reason I'm saying that is because we see that Jupiter is here at 3 degrees, the sun is at 1 degree. But this sextile, even if it's to just Jupiter as well, it really brings in like, it kind of just creates more long-term vision with this, because Jupiter is, again, a planet that is all about expanding you. It's all about expanding your processes. And so Mars, I'm like staring at Mars here is really going to create this sort of like supportive structure and system. Like, it's good for like long-term projects, like health plans. So like if you're wanting to get into like a routine, it's like committing to something that really aligns with your values and like emotional needs. Hi, you're a Taurus. Oh no, NSA, get out. NSA, please don't derail this. Please don't make me mute you. Please behave. Okay, cool. Just listen. Just listen. Don't say anything crazy. Thank you. Thank you. I'm like, I am so incredibly sensitive today, that I don't want to have to like mute anybody or anything, or like, maybe eventually I should get some mods in here. So then on the 22nd, later in the day, the sun's going to be squaring Saturn in Aries and Neptune. So this is, so like I spoke to, thank you. Yeah, he is a world famous troll. I'll let him have that, but that's all I'm going to speak on for that. Okay. So the sun in Cancer, right? We spoke about it, wants to feel safe and held, but Saturn here is squaring it and really is like demanding maturity, boundaries, growth, retention. And then Neptune here creates this layer of fog and boundaries feel blurred. So it's like this weird tug of war. This is kind of like a sacred reckoning transit where you might feel the ache of like emotional responsibility or a need to confront how you've been avoiding your deeper needs. It's kind of this energy of like, where do I need to stop idealizing safety and instead build it? I'm calling myself out here too. I'm calling myself out here. Okay. Because really, like the whole, oh, and my left ear's ringing. The whole energy of this week is really this like creating a stable container to move through your emotions and recognizing it's nobody else's responsibility but yours to move through that. So, you know, this is really a powerful time, especially with like the Saturn energy and Neptune energy with Cancer. It's like reparenting yourself to a certain degree. I really feel a lot of like releasing old like parent/child patterns. So depending on where you're at on that spectrum, and like really honing in on like creating something for yourself. So just recognizing where like truly we just repeat the patterns that we were taught, whether that was through our paternal unit or this like world that we were raised in, you know, those patterns that come up there, recognizing those, witnessing those, and seeing where like, are those serving me still? And this Cancer energy that's coming to play in this week is really bringing in the like emotional safety of it. Like, is what you have currently emotionally sustaining? Is it going to allow you to be present with your emotions and move through them without, you know, like letting them overwhelm you or take over? It's really finding that delicate balance and that dance of like expressing emotion and not letting it overtake you, because there's sometimes Cancer is like the ocean. It's like waves and it's controlled by the moon. Like there can be like, you know, just one shift of like warm air and cold air and there's suddenly a freaking hurricane. So it's like really being aware of your surroundings and what you're engaging in. And like, there's certain things like energy ties need to be cut. Like, I really feel I've been witnessing this with the astrology, with my community, with people close to me, of just like really getting crystal clear on what and where you need support. Yeah. So, yeah. So there's a lot of like, again, just to kind of jump here, to kind of like recap all this energy that I spoke to is like, there's this need to alchemize emotional intelligence with sacred responsibility. That's that energy that's coming from Saturn and Neptune, where it's like really bringing in that like stability layer. And then the emotional intelligence with the sun moving into Cancer, with Jupiter being in Cancer, with Mercury being in Cancer, and also that support that we're getting from Mars moving into Virgo, which really creates this like, sorry, my carbonated drink is making me burp. I lost my train of thought with that. My bad. This is kind of like a week to anchor into I want to say like testing the waters of your emotional capacity.